Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The dream of a free Poland came true, said President Andrzej Duda at the funeral of Ryszard Białus, the legendary leader of the Zośka Battalion of the Home Army. The ashes of the Polish independence fighter who died in 1992 in Argentina were laid today on the Powązki Military Cemetery, where he joins his fellow soldiers. Białus's wish was to be buried in a free Poland.
After a holy mass held in the memory of Ryszard Białus, the leader of the famed Zośka Scout Battalion, the urn containing the hero's ashes was ceremonially placed in the Powązki Military Cemetery. President Andrzej Duda posthumously awarded Captain Białus with the Commander's Cross of the Polonia Restituta. Additionally, the Minister of National Defense, Mariusz Błaszczak, awarded him to a rank of colonel.
To jest niezwykła chwila.
This is a very special moment. The dream of a free Poland has come true. For Colonel Ryszard Białus, codename Jerzy, this was a dream of an independent Poland, a free and fully sovereign homeland, a thriving Poland. This dream is being realized at the moment.
Była niepodległa, była w pełni suwerenna, była wolna.
27 years ago, on the other side of the planet, our family and friends said goodbye to our father, Captain Ryszard Jerzy Białus. After 27 years, his dream has finally come true. He can lay among his friends at this cemetery. The leader of the Zośka Scout Battalion was awarded the Cross of Valor, as well as an 5th grade Virtuti Militari Cross during the Warsaw Uprising. He was a man who loved Poland with all his life. He served our country. He believed he would one day return here. He returned to his homeland, just like he inscribed on the image of Our Lady of the Gate of Dawn, which he carved himself.
Na ikonie Matki Boskiej Ostrobramskiej, którą sam wyrzeźbił.
Ryszard Białus, born in 1914, was associated with Scouts from his youth. In September 1939, he fought in the September campaign of the Second World War, during which he was seriously wounded. From the beginning of the occupation, he became involved in underground activities. He was among other participants of the famous action under the Arsenal. In the Warsaw Uprising, Captain Białus commanded the legendary Scout Battalion Zośka, with whom he went through the entire combat trail, leading them through Wola, the Old Town and Czerniaków. After the fall of the uprising, he was sent to a prisoner of war camp in Germany. In April 1945, he was released by the British and assigned to the famous 1st Independent Parachute Brigade. From March 1947 to February 1948, he was the head of the Polish Scouting Association outside the country. In July 1948, he emigrated with his family to Argentina. He died on March 24, 1992 in Neuquén, Argentina.
The Speaker of the Sejm, Marek Kuchciński, expressed that the Sejm of the Republic of Poland offers the highest homage and expresses respect for all of the heroes of the Warsaw Uprising. His statement was made in order to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising. The deputies welcomed the adoption of the resolution with applause, shouting praise and glory to the heroes.
This is the resolution of the Sejm of the Republic of Poland regarding the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the outbreak of the Warsaw Uprising. The Warsaw Uprising was one of the most heroic and tragic Polish battles of the Second World War, as well as being the largest armed underground operation in German-occupied Europe on August 1st, 1944. The goal was to free Warsaw from the hands of Nazi occupants even before the Soviet invasion, as well as the restoration of legal and sovereign state authorities in the capital. The insurgents took part in a heroic fight against the Germans and their Russian helpers from the collaborative formation. The highly unequal battle lasted 63 days, during which the Nazis massacred civilians and leveled the city. The mass genocide occurred in Mokotów, Ochota, Wola and downtown Warsaw. Faced with the military superiority of the enemy and in the absence of significant external assistance from both the Allies and the USSR, on October 2nd, 1944, the representatives of the main command of the Home Army signed the Surrender Act. The Warsaw Uprising became a symbol of courage and sacrifice of Poles struggling for freedom. Their martyrdom for almost half a century of communist rule was negated. Nevertheless, the memory of the heroic insurgents of the capital's inhabitants survived in the national consciousness of Poles. The Sejm of the Republic of Poland pays their highest homage and expresses respect to all the heroes of the Warsaw Uprising, both soldiers fighting on the barricades and residents of the capital who lost their lives during the armed clashes. I ask that the Sejm adopts the resolution by acclamation.
Proponuję, aby Sejm podjął uchwałę przez aklamację.
The authorities of the city of Gdańsk want to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the outbreak of the Second World War, together with a large delegation of guests from Germany, with a joyful celebration. After sharp criticism, the idea of incorporating dancing and joy into the commemoration was removed.
Over 200 citizens of West Germany who want to demonstrate responsibility for the difficult history of their fathers and grandfathers, causes of the cruelty of the Second World War. On Sunday, September 1st, Polish-German delegation appeared at Westerplatte at 4:45 a.m. to take part in celebrations of the 80th anniversary of the outbreak of the Second World War. The March for Life, a joyful procession, will take place at 3 p.m. near the Shakespeare Theatre. After that, the participants of the march will go through the Green Gate, where a concert, dances and common celebration will take place.
This
is a scandal. The Gdańsk authorities have a problem with the history and the historical truth, because if someone plans to organize joyful marches on September 1st, then he probably doesn't know history. This is the day that commemorates a very sad anniversary. This is the day that the Germans invaded Poland, the day of the beginning of the Second World War that ended with the deaths of hundreds of thousands of innocent people.
The 2020 Democratic Party U.S. presidential primaries season began today with a debate in Detroit, Michigan. The election date is set for November the 3rd, 2020. There are currently as many as 20 candidates in the primary race. All of them have one thing in common: hostility towards the incumbent President Donald Trump. According to the Democratic presidential candidates, Trump is responsible for all the evils taking place in America.
This is the first debate of the second series of the 2020 U.S. presidential election primaries. There are 20 candidates. The Wednesday debate was with the participation of 10 candidates, 3 women and 7 men. The speeches of all candidates had the same approach: a critique of Donald Trump's presidency.
We need to call out white supremacy for what it is: domestic terrorism, and it poses a threat to the United States of America. We live in a country now where the president is advancing environmental racism, economic racism, criminal justice racism, healthcare racism. The way we do better is to fight back and show something better.
We'll call his racism out for what it is and also talk about its consequences. It doesn't just offend our sensibilities to hear him say, "Send her back," about a member of Congress because she's a woman of color, because she's a Muslim American. Doesn't just offend our sensibilities when he calls Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals, or seeks to ban all Muslims from the shores of a country that is comprised of people from the world over, from every tradition of faith. It is also changing this country.
Candidates also focus on the healthcare and immigration issues.
Trump is doing, through his racism and his xenophobia, is demonizing a group of people. And as president, I will end that demonization. If a mother and a child walk thousands of miles on a dangerous path, in my view, they are not criminals.
The biggest problem right now that we have with immigration, it's Donald Trump. He's using immigration to not only rip apart families, but rip apart this country.
The participants also stated their views on the economy. Most noted that the present system suits only the richest Americans and serves big corporations. This must be changed radically.
We need to recognize that when it comes to the economic gap between blacks and whites in America, it does come from a great injustice that has never been dealt with.
During the debate, some personal animosities also came out.
And the political system is broken too, because the entire conversation is about left or right. Where are you at on the political system? And I'm here to say this isn't about left or right. This is about new and better. And it's not about reforming old systems. It's about building new systems.
The next debate will take place this Thursday and include the other 10 candidates.
Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily weather. It's followed by the business, then the culture, the history, and finally the travel.